Picture this: cruising through security with a coffee in hand, thinking it's smooth sailing from here, until a TSA officer pulls the bag aside. No explanation yet, just that quiet, sinking feeling as it gets zipped open right in front of everyone. And the kicker? It's not a weapon. It's not even something new. It's something that used to be totally fine until 2026 happened. The rules have changed, not in theory, but in actual daily enforcement, and it's catching thousands of travelers completely off guard. Let's dive straight in. Here are 10 items that will absolutely get flagged, pulled, or confiscated in 2026, and most people still have no idea. 1. Cordless hair tools with gas cartridges. It's sleek, it's compact, and it gets perfect curls at 30,000 feet. Sounds amazing, but if that cordless hair straightener or curler runs on butane or gas cartridges, it's on the no-fly list, permanently. Why? One word: fire. Butane is a hazardous material, and in the closed airspace of an aircraft, even a tiny spark risk is too much. TSA is very clear. These tools can only fly if the gas cartridge is completely removed and safely packed according to airline policy. But even then, most officers will flag it if it looks suspicious or unlabeled. 2. Spare lithium-ion batteries. This one keeps escalating every year. Spare lithium-ion batteries, like the ones used in cameras, drones, or backup phone chargers, are now under much tighter scrutiny. The reason is simple. When lithium batteries overheat, they don't just melt, they can catch fire. Fast. As of 2026, all spare lithium-ion batteries must be packed in carry-on bags only, never in checked baggage. But here's the kicker most travelers miss. The watt-hour rating must be printed clearly on the battery. If it's smudged, unreadable, or missing altogether, it's getting confiscated, no questions asked. TSA officers aren't expected to guess. If they can't confirm that battery is under the 100 watt-hours limit, it's out. Want to carry something bigger, say up to 160 watt-hours? That needs airline approval ahead of time, not at the gate. And even then, the battery must be removable and safely stored. No visible label, no flight. 3. Smart luggage with non-removable batteries. Here's where things get sneaky. Smart luggage exploded in popularity. GPS tracking, USB ports, even app-connected locks. But some of these bags have non-removable lithium-ion batteries hardwired into the frame. That's where the 2026 crackdown hits hard. If the battery can't be removed easily, and easily means without a screwdriver or digging into the lining, then the bag is automatically banned. It can't go as a carry-on, and it definitely can't be checked. And this isn't one of those rules you can talk your way around. Gate agents and TSA officers are trained to check the brand and battery type. If the battery's fused in and can't be popped out quickly, that $300 suitcase might be walking away without its owner. 4. Power banks over the limit. It's easy to forget because everyone travels with a charger these days, but TSA is now ultra-specific. Power banks must not exceed 100 watt-hours. If it's a high-capacity charger for a laptop or a multi-device hub, double-check the rating. Again, that WH rating needs to be printed clearly on the device. If it's not, confiscated. Some flyers get away with power banks up to 160 watt-hours, but only with prior approval from the airline, and only in the cabin, never in checked luggage. Also worth noting, loose power banks must be kept separate, not stuffed deep into pockets with metal objects. TSA wants them visible, labeled, and ready for inspection. If it's buried at the bottom of a tangled bag of cords, that's a one-way ticket to the TSA bin. 5. Spreadable foods. It's 2026, and yes, peanut butter is still a threat, according to the 3.4-ounce liquid rule. Same goes for hummus, cream cheese, Nutella, and even soft cheese if it looks like a spread. The rule is still about liquids, gels, and pastes, and the spread test is what catches people. If it can be spread with a knife, it's likely too soft to pass the TSA checkpoint unless it's in a 3.4-ounce container, inside a quart-sized liquids bag. No, security won't care that it's your favorite artisanal garlic hummus from a New York deli. If it breaks the rule, it stays behind. And in case you're wondering, yes, TSA agents have indeed opened and tested dip containers to confirm. 6. Powders in bulk. Not exactly something that screams danger, but certain powders can trigger alerts if packed in large quantities. That means protein powders, powdered drink mixes, baking ingredients, or even large makeup containers. If there's more than 12 ounces of powder-like substance in a single container, expect extra screening. And yes, if the agent can't identify it, or if it's packed in a container without labeling, it might be pulled aside or tossed. The frustrating part? There's no ban, just a judgment call. So the best play is to pack powders in smaller containers, label them clearly, and put them where they're easy to inspect. Confusion slows everything down. And in 2026, speed is the whole point of these rule changes. Here's what's catching people off guard. It's not just about the size, it's about how it looks on the scanner. A large tub of protein powder might be flagged because the dense uniform consistency shows up like a block, and security needs to confirm it's not something else. TSA officers don't open it right away. They pull it aside, run chemical swabs, sometimes test it for explosive residue. And if it's an unlabeled container, maybe repacked into a clear Tupperware or travel jar, it's even more suspicious. There's no way for them to know if it's baking soda or something more serious without extra steps. That's where the delay happens. Even makeup can set off alerts. Setting powders, body shimmer, or mineral foundation, especially when packed in bulk or across multiple containers, can create confusion. Some travelers have been stopped for carrying nothing more than bath salts or Epsom salts in resealable bags. It's not about what it is, it's about what it could be mistaken for. And in today's airport environment, no one's taking chances. TSA would rather be overly cautious than risk letting something slip through. 7. High-proof alcohol, over 140 proof. It's not new, but it's now being enforced like never before. That bottle of ultra-high-proof rum or absinthe picked up duty-free, if it's 140 proof or higher, that's 70% alcohol or more, it's banned from flights in both carry-on and checked luggage. The reason? Flammability. Anything that volatile poses a risk in transit, and there's zero wiggle room on this. Even if it's sealed and never opened, TSA will confiscate it if it crosses the threshold. Most people don't realize their favorite overproof spirits fall into this zone. It's not about how much you bring, but how strong it is. If it's above the limit, it stays on the ground. 8. Real ID and digital verification issues. While it's not exactly something you pack, your ID setup can absolutely delay or block your boarding, especially now. As of May 2025, the Real ID requirement is fully active across the US. If your driver's license doesn't have the little star symbol, it's no longer valid for domestic air travel. Simple as that. But 2026 adds a new layer. TSA is pushing biometric screening hard. That means facial scans match to federal databases instead of handing over your physical ID. When it works, it's lightning fast. But when it doesn't, or if you're uncomfortable with it, things get complicated. Travelers can opt out, but then you'll be rerouted to a manual line, which usually moves slower. And here's where it bites. People relying on mobile IDs stored in apps sometimes get locked out due to app crashes, dead phones, or connectivity issues. The safest bet is to carry a physical Real ID or passport, and maybe even a printed boarding pass as a backup. The tech is impressive, but not perfect. There have been reports of facial scan mismatches that send travelers straight into secondary screening, even when their documents are fine. Something as simple as glasses, a recent haircut, or poor lighting can throw the scan off. And for anyone traveling with children or elderly parents, biometric kiosks can slow things down if the system can't verify their profiles instantly. Some airports are already piloting full facial recognition boarding, where the gate doesn't open until your face matches the manifest. Sounds futuristic, but when the scanner doesn't work, it's a scramble. Agents will manually verify, but by then the line's backing up and the clock's ticking. Then there's the mobile ID debate. Some states now let travelers store digital versions of their IDs inside Apple Wallet or similar apps, but they're not universally accepted, and more importantly, they require signal. If your phone dies or the app stalls on a weak connection, TSA won't wait for a reboot. It's the same with boarding passes. Yes, digital ones work until your app logs out or your screen won't scan. Travelers have missed flights fumbling with authentication links that need two-factor approval, which obviously doesn't work mid-security when cellular data drops. And here's a detail people overlook. Some mobile IDs are still considered pilot programs, meaning TSA agents aren't required to accept them in every state. So even if it worked last week at one airport, it might not work this week at another. If you're connecting through a different terminal or flying out of a smaller regional airport, don't assume tech will carry you through. So what's the smartest play? 9. Certain tools. Here's where things catch even the handiest travelers. Some small tools are allowed, like screwdrivers under 7 inches. But others, even smaller ones, can get flagged if they resemble something that could be used as a weapon. It's not just about the blade, it's about potential. Multi-tools, compact wrenches, foldable utility tools, anything with a sharp edge, concealed blade, or spiked end might not make it through. If a TSA officer isn't familiar with the item or can't determine its function easily, they're trained to err on the side of caution. That means the tool is confiscated unless it's clearly under the approved list and visibly non-threatening. 10. Sports gear that can double as weapons. Not all sports equipment is treated the same. A baseball glove? No problem. A baseball bat? That's a no-go. The rule is less about the sport, more about potential harm. In 2026, TSA is actively confiscating gear that could be used as blunt force objects, including lacrosse sticks, hiking poles with metal tips, and even some yoga props with rigid frames. If it's long, heavy, or designed for physical impact, don't expect it to be allowed in your carry-on. It's safer to check it in, or leave it behind altogether if it raises any questions. Even compact equipment like collapsible trekking poles or travel-size martial arts gear is getting flagged. A metal baton, even if it's used for hiking or fitness, can still resemble a tactical weapon. TSA agents are trained to identify dual-purpose gear, and they're more cautious than ever. Fishing rods with thick fiberglass builds have also been stopped, especially when packed loose without a case. One traveler reported being pulled aside for carrying a foam roller with a rigid inner core. The agent deemed it impact-capable. Foam. Roller, that's the level of strictness now. Items like baseballs, softballs, and weighted training balls might seem harmless, but once scanned in bulk or packed tightly, they can trigger suspicion. It's not about banning sports, it's about minimizing risk in tight cabin spaces. Hockey sticks? Absolutely not. Golf clubs? Definitely not in the overhead bin, even if the airline didn't mention it. TSA has final say at the checkpoint. The biggest confusion usually happens with personal sports equipment packed as part of everyday gear. Think resistance bands with hooks, solid core jump ropes, or even hand grips with steel frames. Anything that could be used to strike, twist, or pull is under extra scrutiny. Bonus, wrapped gifts. This one sounds harmless. And it is, until TSA needs to see what's inside. If a gift is wrapped and something about it looks unusual in the scanner, the wrapping paper is coming off. Right there. No matter how perfectly it's taped. In 2026, TSA isn't playing guessing games. Wrapped items are a security blind spot, so they get opened if flagged. And if the item inside is prohibited, or if the contents can't be verified quickly, the whole thing can be tossed. To avoid a surprise unwrapping at the checkpoint, the smart move is to leave gifts unwrapped, then pack wrapping paper in the bag or wrap them after you arrive. Flying in 2026 isn't about just showing up early or remembering your charger. It's about knowing what doesn't fly anymore. Literally. Hair tools with fuel cartridges, smart bags with locked-in batteries, high-capacity power banks with no labels. Those are the things getting pulled from bags every single day. The new enforcement isn't about new bans. It's about strict, no-exceptions execution of existing ones. Knowing the details means keeping your trip smooth, fast, and fee-free. So triple-check those bags, keep essentials labeled, and when in doubt, pack like your bag's going through a spotlight, because these days, it probably is. If this helped even a little, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone flying soon, and hit that subscribe button for more no-drama travel breakdowns that actually save you time and money. Safe travels. And remember, TSA reads labels. You should too.